Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. How are we all doing today? Are you ready for a diet of too much food, too much drink, and bad TV? Welcome to the holiday season. But have no fear, in just a few days' time you can say the words, New Year, New Me, before your old self catches back up with you again. Man, how does that happen every single year? But don't worry, you will be in good company. As for crypto fans out there, is crypto winter thawing yet, or showing any signs of that? I am cautiously optimistic that we'll see much more adoption and good news in 2019. And I've just finished writing a crypto New Year's resolution post, which I believe is scheduled to go live on the next web on New Year's Day. So remember to check that out. Now, speaking of blockchain and crypto, I wanted to explore another great blockchain project today. How does the world's first decentralized VPN, virtual private network, that is available on the official App Store for Android right now, how does that sound? Because on today's podcast, I invited the founder of Mysterium onto the show, and his name is Robertus Visinkis, and he's often found in New York and Switzerland, but today I tracked him down to a long road in Lithuania. He's pulled over to the side of the road and agreed to talk with me on a podcast today. I love the fact that I'm here sat in a room on my own talking to a microphone. Robertus is on a road in Lithuania in the middle of winter, and that conversation that we're going to have will be beamed all around the world to 165 countries on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and so many other platforms. But enough of me and my random observations. The Mysterium Network is an open source, non-for-profit foundation focused on security and privacy. And like I said, it's the world's first decentralized VPN blockchain project. And with over 13 years experience in IT, he was previously the CEO and CTO of Trust Tribe, which helped peer-to-peer companies attract and engage more visitors to their websites, as well as built a unified e-reputation management platforms. And he was also CTO and head of product design at the Meta Group, where he was responsible for market analysis, customer delivery, UX design, and product implementation. So he's earned his stripes in the world of tech, but now he's right in the heart of the incredibly exciting project with Mysterium. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to a road in Lithuania so we can speak with Robert, who's going to tell us all about his story and the vision for Mysterium Network. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Hello, everybody. My name is Robert. I am a founder of Mysterium Network, which is a decentralized VPN technology that we're building, and that's what I do. I try to run everyday activities by creating a decentralized rerouting technology to ensure everybody has an access to private communication on the internet.
Fantastic. Now, my understanding of the Mysterium network is it's an open source network allowing anyone to rent their unused network traffic while providing a secure connection for those that need it. In a nutshell, the world's first decentralized VPN blockchain project. But for anyone hearing about Mysterium for the very first time, can you just help them visualize exactly what it is, the kind of problems that you're solving, and also what makes Mysterium unique from other solutions out there?
Well, what it is, it's a marketplace, actually. It's a marketplace of people, entities, companies, organizations, where demand and supply meets. And we're building technology for this demand and supply to meet. And this technology will enable one side of the equation for the supply side is to provide the excess bandwidth that you have. Let's say you're a home user and you're not using all of your internet capacity. That combined with the encryption techniques and rerouting techniques could be used to help others communicate with each other in a secure and private way, because you need messages relayed and rerouted through the network. You need this encryption to be used to protect the privacy of your communication. So on one spectrum, we have nodes which provide their bandwidth, and by using Mysterium Network Node, they encrypt and reroute traffic. On the other end, you have entities like companies using this network to build their own products. And one of those products, like the first and most obvious, is a VPN. You can build a VPN using this network just by plugging into this network. You don't need to have any nodes of your own. You can just use network as a service to build a VPN app. Basically, this is what we're doing as a demo. We're building our app ourselves. We just launched an Android, by the way, version of it, so you can come and play with it, test it. It's still free because we're in the testing phase at the moment. But you can build different products on top of that. Let's say you have server to server communications, and you reroute from one end of the world to the other end some information that's sensitive, and you don't want third parties to peek into that information. Well, you can use Mysterium Network as well to reroute this traffic, to open borders, to cross the borders, which usually are hard to cross, to privatize that communication, and so on. And we'll be adding more tools for companies to access and to utilize this network for them to, make it more simple. So I don't really know how to explain how is it different. It's just it's a new technology. There are some similarities in the world, but it's using a technology similar to VPN. It's stemming from the VPN use previously, and we're building on top.
And of course, you are the world's first decentralized VPN blockchain project, which kind of sets you out there on your own, doesn't it? but for the people listening at home, if anyone listening at home that are thinking, well, it's a great idea, they can help use their unused bandwidth and help the global community, they may ask, well, what's in it for me? Is that where the token comes into this?
Exactly. If you have a computer at home, you're using it from time to time, you can plug it into the network and reroute traffic, encrypt traffic for others. And yes, that is paid work. That's why in the beginning I called this a marketplace. Somebody finds, route through your computer, maybe jumping to a few other nodes in between, and that traffic is paid. So yeah, you get paid for that, and that's where the Mysterium token will come into play. As I said, we're still testing a free version at the moment and building the payment integration right as we speak. We'll be testing that later next year. But yes, eventually that's the idea. It's not a free contribution. It's a paid contribution.
So I want to take you back in time just for a moment to try and understand what set you on this journey to reinvent privacy, security and freedom on the internet. And what was the inspiration or backstory behind Mysterium?
Yeah, seems so long time ago, actually. Yeah. You tend to eventually live life and think that's how it always used to be, but actually it's not. Much back in time when Bitcoin was starting and Ethereum before it even started, I was very much into these technologies. I was reading into these white papers. I was watching News Unfold, Vitalik present, and so on and so on. And that's like 2014, 13, and 12, 11 with Bitcoin. So I was very much into the blockchain and decentralization. All of the values really resonate with me. Before that, I was doing, I would say, a startup which would fit into decentralized world very well. We were trying to decentralize reputation, so that you could carry around your reputation through the Airbnbs and Ubers and all over the places. So this set of values, I don't know, historically, I was very aligned with them. And in 2016, I was traveling and browsing through the internet, and there was this pop-up ad saying, your traffic is being monitored by this government. I think it was France. at the moment. And if you want to protect yourself, well, here's the VPN for you. And I got myself thinking, from ISPs get all the information about my traffic, and they can sell it or provide it to the governments. And then I can hide it through VPN. But in reality, VPN has all of the access of everything that I do. It just so happens that most of them say that they don't use it, they don't track it, they don't log it. But really, it's really hard to say if they don't or they do. You just have to take their word for it. And I think that is potentially a very big problem. Yes, maybe some don't. Yes, maybe some do. But the technical possibility is there. So I got myself thinking, is it possible to build a technology where there would be absolutely no way of doing this? Where we as if we would create such a technology, where we as an organization would not have access at all into all of this communication. So that's how the idea was born, to build this technology, a decentralized technology where no central place for logging could even exist. That was the birth of this, and then it followed.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I also read a great interview recently. I think it was at the Cryptocurrency Virtual Summit, where you said anonymity and privacy are not the same thing. Can you expand on what you meant for anyone that missed that interview?
All right. Yeah. Privacy is when you and me have a chat, and this could be you and me, this could be two servers, this could be two Internet of Things devices, and so on and so on. So any two entities have a chat, and the contents of this chat is unseeable by the third parties who they don't wish them to see. So it's a private chat, but it does not mean that the chat itself is not visible. You can see, let's say we talk over there in the corner, we stand two of us together, everybody in the room can see that we are talking. Everybody in the room can see who am I and who are you, but they just don't hear the contents of the talk. That's privacy. When me and you are talking, but we have masks on our head and nobody knows who we are, that's anonymity. Even the contents might be public, I can shout out loud, but nobody knows who am I, that's anonymity. So these are two very different concepts. People usually bundle them together. There's a little bit of mess in the understanding of these two concepts.
Now, it has been an incredibly exciting month for you guys, with the world's first decentralised VPN that is now available on the official App Store for Android, which I urge anyone listening to check that out and download that. But moving forward into 2019, what's your grand vision for Mysterium?
Oh, well, 1 year, as I learned, 1 year in an organization as this flies by as if it's an instant. So really no big grand plans. Yeah. I envision we will build the components. We will test them in real life. Essential components like payments. Payments still don't exist in the current iteration of the product. So it's, anybody who's up for a free VPN, please try it. Just keep in mind that the limit of the amount of nodes currently in the system is not that huge. It's mostly supplied by us and few other people. So because, incentivization is not there yet. We don't pay those nodes yet. We need to test the incentivization. We need to test multi-hopping. We need to test the API for the other companies to plug into this technology and start using it in building their own products on top of it. So we want to build the core elements. We want to really test them in real life situations. We want to give those core elements to organizations to play with them and start building products with them. We already have some potential partnerships lined up. Don't yet want to talk names because it's not been sealed yet, but we're in talks. There are some companies interested in doing some things. Yeah, so we want to find a real world use case for this technology in 2019. That's our internal goal.
Now, you mentioned partnerships there. I've got to ask, how challenging is it for you, at the head of Mysterium there, where your community is going to be demanding updates on an almost daily, maybe even more frequently than that many times. But also the partnerships and the partners or potential partners that you're talking with, they're going to lock you down to NDAs for 3 months, 6 months and beyond. How challenging is it to find that right balance?
Well, you named it.
Yeah.
It is challenging. On one side, you're an open organization, and we have all the intentions to staying that way, to being an open organization. On the other end, you are doing some, you can call it a business development, and your partners might not be necessarily open organizations like we are. So you're playing, you're dancing that dance, pushing in every direction, basically. There is no need for, at least so far, we're not working with some concealed organizations. I believe they're going to be willing to open themselves up for the public to let them know that we're partnering. I don't envision too big of a challenge there. As long as we find a technical solution to solve their problem, I think that is the most attention requiring piece for us at the moment, is to find that subtle balance. Once we do that, I think they. Well, I can't speak for them, but I don't think there to be too much of a problem.
Now, the success of any future technology, of course, is determined by widespread adoption. So what do you think the secret is to securing mass adoption in the blockchain space that is actually needed to make any blockchain project a success? It's a big question.
It's like, what's the answer to the life, universe, and everything from Hitchhiker's Guide?
42.
42. So exactly that. But to be more serious, I can't speak for the whole blockchain industry because it's probably beyond my head. But I can speak for Mysterium. Building cool tech is amazing, and I think we're doing just that. We're building a decentralized traffic privatizing network capable to deliver privacy on demand, basically. Now, finding that product or service, finding that niche in the real world, in the existing real world, and as well finding its place in the coming world is a challenge. And if we're successful, that opens up a door for further evolution of this amazing tech, because you can, but it's really hard to build a tech which is not sustainable. The tech development needs to be sustainable in my head, and this is what we set out to do in 2019, to find its niche in the real world. Its first niche. This technology can be applied in many, many ways. We just hope to find the first one in 2019, in real numbers, in real use cases, in real usage, not just to have a talk to somebody about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, there was also a big story recently about G20 leaders calling for a taxation system of cryptocurrency. Now, this did make me smile initially, as I don't think too many people have made a profit this year. But can you share with me your thoughts on this?
I have not heard on the taxation policy, so please fill me in.
I think it was because we've got this whole new ecosystem that's coming here, and the big industries are looking at, or the big leaders and governments are looking, well, how can we tax this? So if you've got a guy, I don't know, sharing his internet traffic or his internet with other people and being rewarded in tokens, I think they're looking at kind of taxing that in the future. Not only that, of course, the investments too.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I think this will evolve to be treated as a similar income to what you have with mining.
Yeah.
You rent your resources and you get some income, either it's Bitcoin or Ether or whatever you're mining. Here is similar. You rent your resources, your PC, your bandwidth, and for that you get an income in tokens. It's really nothing fundamentally different here, unless in legal, this will find a different niche. But so far we don't see any indications of that. So I think this will be treated very similarly to mining.
So do you think blockchain and the crypto space will enter the mainstream next year in 2019? I mean, blockchain is often is often compared to the early days of the internet. Do you think we're still in the very early stages, or we'll see a lot of big progress next year?
Oh yeah. We are in the. It's definite that we are in the very early days. Yes, Bitcoin and Ethereum found their first use cases for these networks, like Ethereum for ICOs. Yes, many people saw it. Yes, many people want to improve this, and some companies have set out to build technologies on top of that. We don't have too many technologies yet. It's not like you're using blockchain technologies besides from maybe Bitcoin and few Ethereum applications every day. We don't have a Facebook or YouTube. Yes, we have Steemit. So yes, it's very, very early days. But I'm happy that even if we can call this period as crypto winter in terms of general public attitude towards the whole infrastructure, we still have quite a few companies working daily and very diligently towards building products, us included. So it's interesting. I mean, I don't venture out too much into other use cases. My 150% of my time goes into Mysterium at the moment, so I can't really comment on the other use cases of blockchain. For us, it's impossible to build a product that we want to. At least we don't see a possibility for us to build a product that we want to build without the blockchain. So definitely there will be a blockchain or technology that's beyond blockchain that's yet to come, right, in the efforts of optimization, maybe in some future. But blockchain is part of Mysterium. It can't be otherwise. So whatever we come up with, it's going to use blockchain, at least in the early stages of the product. And we plan to have a product that's hitting the market in more real use case, not in a testing phase this year, not in 19. I'm betting we're not the only ones who have such plans. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting year for blockchain 2019, because we're going to start seeing first fruits from all of these ICOs in last year. Yeah, start showing up. I'm optimistic because there's so much technology, so much development happening at the moment. Even if 30% of it is bearing fruits, I think this will bring amazing results.
So as for Mysterium then, looking forward to 2019, what are going to be your big goals and your big objectives, or just highlights from that roadmap on 2019 that you're aiming for?
All right. Currently not in front of computer, in a car actually, so can't look at the roadmap. But as I said, our major goal is to build out the major components, building up initial Mysterium use case, building that first application. We just launched in early test, but building in payments, building in multi-hops, building in Node, some sort of reputational mechanisms. So yeah, these are the essential components. So building out and testing out in real life essential components, working with the external market, working with the rest of the world, finding a use case and a niche and applying it there. This is our major goal for 2019.
Fantastic. So for anyone that wants to check out your roadmap or your white paper or anything else, can you remind the listeners of where they can find you guys online and maybe even contact a member of your team or join your crypto community over there, just if they have any questions?
Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. Mysterium.network is our website. Please visit it. We have a roadmap. We're going to be updating it after the beginning of January because we have a whole team get-together strategic session where we set out monthly, quarterly goals for ourselves for 2019. So if something changes from the existing iteration, we'll update it. We have a blog in Medium where we quite regularly update what's happening with Mysterium. So yeah, please check us out on Medium. We have a Telegram group, actually a few groups. We have a Twitter, also Mysterium Network. So yeah, there are quite a few. Everything you can find on the website, all the links. If you're up for chatting us up, Telegram is the best place. And yeah, please do test out and give us feedback. That's the thing that we need at the moment most.
Well, I'll add all those links to the show notes on the blog post that accompanies this episode. And I think in 2018, a lot of projects were built on future promises. But like you said, I think there is increased optimism to see those first fruits from all those ICOs in 2019. And that is an incredibly exciting prospect. So I wish you the best of luck next year. I'd love to get you back on at some point and find out how you're progressing. But more than anything, just a big thank you for coming on and sharing that story with me today.
Thank you for having me.
The world's first decentralized VPN that is available on the Android store right now is much more than an incredibly cool concept. You can get there and download it and offer feedback on it right now. And there's a great post on Medium that hammers home just how exciting Mysterium is. Because essentially, Mysterium is reinventing privacy, starting with decentralized VPN on blockchain, which means that their architecture can actually keep logs of all your traffic. Which means that their architecture cannot actually keep logs of your traffic. Instead, your traffic data is distributed across the network, with no single node having complete access to who you are and what you're doing. And they've also been open source from day one. Everything is completely transparent. And you can even check their source code and contribute. But what I love most about this and the blockchain space is that we're moving away from projects built on future promises and beginning to see those first fruits from those ICOs. And from those first fruits, we get to play with this technology and also help it evolve. That is the exciting stuff. But over to you. Let me know your thoughts by emailing me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, or tweeting me at Neil C. Hughes. And you can even leave me a virtual voicemail over on my website, techblogwriter.co.uk. But that's it for another episode, and time for me to go off and wrap a few presents now and walk away from the microphone. But have no fear, I've got plenty of episodes stored up to get you through the holiday period, and when that's over, we've got CES to look forward to, and that's an incredibly crazy time over in Vegas. But right now, just a big thank you for listening to the show, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.